Well. Back again. The Stanley Cup Playoffs on TNT and ESPN. Proud sponsors of the Blue Line Channel. No, I'm kidding. If you couldn't tell, I thought, you might have thought, right? TNT, ESPN. It's time for the Stanley Cup Playoffs again. The time where we decide out who has what it takes to win and who has what it takes to lose. The Toronto Maple Leafs have what it takes to lose every year. They're the epitome of losing and something other teams can aspire to. But who's the epitome of winning? Who's going to win this year? I don't know. But let's find out together, shall we? As you're seeing, this most of the series have begun and have played 3 to 4 games. I'm sorry about that. I did film this beforehand, but it took me a while to edit because of school and everything. But here are the predictions. Hope you guys still enjoy anyways. Dallas versus Vegas. Now, I'm just going to preface my little first round matchups. I like all of these. I like all of the first round matchups. I think they're all going to be pretty good and pretty fun. Dallas versus Vegas. Vegas choked literally yesterday. By the way, I'm wearing this because it's business. The playoffs are business. I should have said that in the intro. Whatever, you get it. Vegas didn't take care of business last night. They lost to the Anaheim Ducks. So they're playing Dallas, and Dallas is good. I think they're a little overrated, but they're still pretty good. I think Jake Ottinger has kind of found his groove a little bit. Hasn't been very good this year. Vegas has been kind of all over. They've been a mess. Mark Stone is going to miraculously be healthy for game 1 again this year, but nothing has been good. Their process hasn't been very good. The results have been middling at best. They started off really hot and then went really cold, and now they've just kind of been mid ever since then. They made some big additions. Thomas Hertl, Noah Hannafin, Anthony Mantha, those are big additions at the deadline, but they haven't really seemed to get much from them. I don't know. They've kind of been, they've been injured, theoretically, and their goaltending just also hasn't, been super good. I don't know. Aiden Hill's been good, but he's been injury prone, and I don't really trust Aiden Hill to do what he did last year. But we'll see. I just don't really have a lot of faith in Vegas. I think if there's anyone who can make the big upset this year, it's Vegas. I don't really know if that's much of an upset, but I think Vegas could get the upset, but I'm not buying it. I think Dallas isn't good enough. I don't think Dallas is as good as people say. They've got problems, but I'm still gonna pick them in the first round. Then we got Winnipeg versus Colorado. Obviously, I'm an Avs fan. I'm gonna remain unbiased here. Like I said, strictly business, no bias whatsoever. I think the Avs are a good team, but they got a tough matchup in Winnipeg. They got a tough matchup in Seattle last year. It's very similar to that. Winnipeg is a very similar style. They like to muck stuff up, play really low event hockey. And they don't really have those big superstars. Like they got guys like Scheifele, Ehlers, Morrissey, stuff like that are good. Connor. But they're not like the cream of the crop superstars like the Avs have, that a lot of these teams have. And I think that's a negative on their side. And I think, I think the Avs are a better constructed team of skaters. And I think they're a better team in that way. But where it comes down to is goaltending. Winnipeg's process isn't all that special. They don't push a lot of offense. They play some all right defense. Their special teams aren't anything special. Their penalty kill is actually really bad. It's a lot of their problems are patched over by really good finishing and Connor Hellebuyck, and they've been riding a big heater to end the season. And it's a part of my question is, what do we use? Does that heater continue, or do they regress and they fall off the cliff? I don't know. They've been a fairly lucky team this year, but they're also still really good, and they have a good goaltender, and a good goaltender can take you pretty far in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I don't know. I think the Avs, I think they can find a way to get past it. I think they're just a little bit, I don't know, they have more experience in the playoffs, and they just have those bigger guys that are going to get it done in the big moments, We've seen before Winnipeg hasn't really been able to succeed in that. I think for Colorado, it's just a question of goaltending. Can they get at least a respectable goaltender matchup? If they can, then they're going to win, I think. If their goalie can keep them within 1 goal consistently, whoever it is, Georgiev or Annunen, I think they could do it. It's hard to bet against guys like Makar, Rantanen, and McKinnon, and especially with the season McKinnon is having, it's hard to bet against the Avs, and Winnipeg just doesn't have those guys, and that's why I'm picking Colorado. I think it's going to be probably the closest series. I think it'll be a real it'll be a real grind. Like no disrespect to the Jets. Like, I think this will be a really good series. So, like, I pick in Colorado because of I just think their skater pool is better, and I think I have faith in their goaltending to step up, I guess. That may be misplaced faith, but we'll see. Vancouver versus Nashville. This one's crazy. I don't know what to do with this one. These are two teams riding incredible heaters the entire year. Vancouver kind of regressed at the end. Nashville's still riding hot. I don't know. They're both Finnish and scoring at incredible rates. Their goaltending is really good. Vancouver process-wise just isn't very good either. Nashville's just like they're like process-wise they're actually really similar teams, but I don't know. Like their goaltending is both really good. Vancouver has a little bit more of that star power, but Nashville's kind of been around the block. They've still got a little, they have those guys, Nyquist, O'Reilly, Yossi. They've got dudes that have been around. They've played more playoff hockey than Vancouver has. And Vancouver is kind of tailored up. I like they're good. Their process is good. Is fine. I don't think the Predators, kind of similar to the Jets in Colorado, they don't have the star power to compete with Vancouver, and I think star power wins in playoffs. Above all else, you can't just have star power, but when you have depth, the Canucks kind of have some depth. They got good defense. Vancouver is a really good defensive team. And Nashville is so limited offensively already that I have a hard time picking against Vancouver. I think they're a good team, and I think they're going to get it done. Now, Edmonton versus LA. This one's interesting. Stop me if you've heard this one before, because these teams have played, this is their third straight first-round matchup in a row. Will LA finally get it done? I don't think so. I don't think LA has the, I don't know. I don't know. They do give me kind of 2019, 18-19 Avs vibes, where it's like they've kind of underperformed for a while, and so they've like gotten themselves into a lower position than they probably should be, and now they're gonna surprise people. I can see it. I don't know, but Edmonton's a really good team. They're like the best process team in the league. Their offense is really good. Their defense has been really good. Their goaltending is a question mark. I don't trust their defense a whole lot either, and I still feel like their depth is just not that good. I don't know. I just don't like, LA just doesn't really have anything that jumps off the page at me. It's like, boy, I really trust this team to win a series, against one of the best players in the league. Edmonton beat them in 6 games last year? It was 7 then 6. Maybe they'll beat them in 5 this year. I can't pick. I can't pick Edmonton. So yeah, I think Dallas, Vegas, I think that one could go 6. I could see Vegas pushing that. Colorado, I think that one will go 7. And Vancouver, Nashville, I also think I really think a lot of these series are going to go the distance. Edmonton, I can see them. I'll do it for 5 just for the pattern, for the memes. Now we got the real fun matchups. We got the Atlantic matchups. We got Florida versus Tampa Bay, the old Battle of Florida. Tampa Bay has been on the winning side of this the first 2 times it's happened. So we'll see. Florida, in my opinion, is the most well-rounded and trustworthy team left in the playoffs. I mean, obviously, probably in the league. I don't know why there would be a really well-rounded, trustworthy team not in the playoffs. I think Florida just has everything. They got depth. They have star power. They have good special teams. They have good goaltending. Their decor is really good. Like, it's just hard for me to pick against them. Tampa Bay has just kind of been like, Kucherov's been really good for them, but I mean they have other good players. Like, I don't like the argument that it's just Kucherov. Like, they have a bunch of talent on that team anyways. Vasilevsky has not been very good this year, so he'll have to step it up. I don't know. I don't think Florida's gonna blow this one before. The years before, they had flaws and stuff like that. It seems like Bobrovsky has kind of refound his form, and I think that's their only like legitimate question mark. So unless Vasilevsky pops off, and they can't handle it again, but we'll see. I think they can. And then we got Boston versus Toronto. These are probably 2 of the most overrated teams in the league left, in my opinion. Boston, their process isn't very good. They're entirely goaltending. They're very much like the Jets, but worse. Because the Jets actually have some decent process. Boston, not really. Boston just plays nothing. Nothing goes on the ice with Boston, and it's entirely their goaltending. Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark getting it done, and that was kind of an issue for them last year. They blew it. Toronto's also not very good. Their process isn't very good. Their goaltending's even worse. And I can't buy into Toronto this year. There's just not like anything about this Toronto team. Like Austin Matthews scored 70 goals, great. He scored 60 goals one year and they lost in the first round. I just don't think he didn't even score 70, so he's a bum. So they're gonna lose, and obviously they're gonna lose in 7 because duh. I don't know. I think it'll be a good series. I just don't really have a lot of faith in either of these teams. I don't know. This one's a real coin flip for me. I just think it's a battle of mid. Like upper mid. Like they're both good teams, but they're not that good. I don't know. Boston got a bunch of loser points this year, and Toronto went to overtime. It was just whatever. Speaking of overrated teams, the Rangers. The Rangers continue to be overrated every year. I feel like they always finish really high. They're the President's Trophy winners. If you look, they are just they don't do anything really that well. They just score goals, and they don't get goals scored on them, which is good. I mean, that's the goal of hockey, but the way they get there is not exactly proper. Panarin is really good. They have players. I don't know. They just don't scare me, I guess. They could go on a run again. I think they could, but I just don't know. Washington sucks. I'm just going to preface this. Charlie Lindgren is the only thing keeping Washington, that will be keeping Washington in this series. And I don't think it's going to be enough. So I think it's going to be the Rangers. But moving forward, my hopes aren't high with New York. And then we got another rematch, Carolina versus the Islanders. I made the mistake of picking the Islanders last year. I don't think they're going to do it this year. I love Patrick Well. I love what he's done with the team. But they're just not that good. Bo Horvat and Matt Barzal are decent. They could get it done. They've found ways to win. They're a resilient hockey team, but I don't know. Carolina's just been really good. They have a little bit more of that extra star power with Jake Gensel now. I don't know. I mean, Carolina's a good hockey team. I was looking at their charts today. My God, it's hilarious because they in their heat map, they play offense it's 2 red splotches, right? So if the net's right here, up here, it's the blue line. There's 2 red splotches right here, and it's white. And it's they're really red. All of it's super red. There's no blue, which is good. That's good. But the problem is none of it is in front of the net. And I'm yeah, that's the Carolina Hurricanes. Maybe the Islanders get revenge. I don't see it. I think the Islanders, the Hurricanes were a worse team last year, and the Islanders really didn't do anything to get better, and the Hurricanes got better. I can see Florida winning in 5. I think Tampa Bay might give them fits, but I'm going to go 5-7, obviously, with Boston, Toronto for the memes. New York and Washington. By the way, always some classics with New York and Washington. So I think it'll go 6, just, for the history, for the culture. Carolina and the Islanders, it was 6 last year. I think it's probably going to be 6 again. Or was it 5? I don't know. I always have a hard time picking them because these are playoff teams. It's you never expect a sweep or anything. Now we're on to the second round. We got another little rematch here. These second round matchups are kind of nice. Dallas versus Colorado. Like I said, I just don't think Dallas is very good. I think they're good. They don't have I don't know. I felt like last year was a little bit of, I don't know. They had Rupe Hintz popping off. They had, I don't know. Jason Robertson wasn't very good. Jake Ottinger wasn't very good. Jake Ottinger hasn't been very good this year. I don't know. He might turn it around in the postseason. I could see it. But my personal take on the Avs this year is that if they make it past Winnipeg, I have a hard time picking anybody else against them because Winnipeg is tailor-made to give the Avs problems. And if the Avs get past those problems, then it gets a lot easier for them because other teams have a more suspect goaltending, more suspect defense. And if they've gotten past Winnipeg, clearly something has worked out for their defense and goaltending. So if they could just keep that up, I have a hard time picking against them. And I just don't feel the same way about Dallas and Vegas. Vegas just isn't a very good team. If Dallas beats them, that's what they should do. I mean, obviously, I don't want to say they should beat Winnipeg. I mean, they kind of should. I don't know. Whatever. Again, I just don't have a lot of faith. I do have faith in the Stars, but I also don't. They just, I don't know. They seem to be the same team every year where it's well, they do well. Their process is good, but they also get some crazy, no one ever gets injured. They always get to overtime. They always find ways to overtime, and they lose in overtime, and they win in 3-for-3 overtime. I don't know, man. I don't really, and I don't think, and their defense just isn't very good, and their goaltending isn't very good, and the Avs can abuse that easily. I feel like the Avs have a tendency to like step their defense and goaltending up in the playoffs a little bit more. I feel like they're a little recent skid at the end of the year. I just think they didn't care. Like, I just didn't think they cared anymore because they clinched. They were like, we're just going to make it. We're just going to make it in, and then we're going to flip the switch. I don't know. I might be right. I might be wrong. I hope I'm right because I want them to win, but we're not being biased. This is business. This is business. And speaking of business, I think Edmonton's going to take care of business. I do think Edmonton's good enough. I don't think they're like, their holes are that glaring. They're just like, there's little sprinkles of doubt. And I just don't trust Vancouver. I think, Vancouver is that team who plays really well and they kind of sputter out in the playoffs. Like, I feel like Nashville's kind of going to give them fits. And I think Edmonton could, like, sweep them. They definitely give me Calgary vibes from 2022. Vancouver does. This one comes down to goaltending a lot. You have Demko, who could have made a run for the Vezina if he didn't get hurt. And you have Stuart Skinner, who's not been very good this year. I think Edmonton just has a little bit more, I don't know. They bowed out early last year. They have some stuff to prove, but I don't like, this is kind of like that Boston versus Toronto. It's like really, I feel like I should be picking Vancouver, but like, I don't know, just my gut tells me Edmonton. I don't know. It's hard to pick against star power. It's hard to pick against Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon. It just is. You don't, like, picking against those guys will more often than not make you look like a dumbass, But now we're going to get another rematch. Florida versus Boston. I could see Boston getting the upset. I don't have faith in it. Like I said, I'm super high on Florida this year. I think this might be their year. And unless Boston really finds something, I don't know. Like, they would need Bobrovsky to fall apart, and they need Ullmark or Swayman, whoever starts for them, to really get some redemption for last year. To, like, I don't know, but they have Pasternak, and like Marchand is like still good, but he's not quite the same guy. I don't know. There's nothing about Boston that screams to me that they could win 2 rounds of playoff hockey. They're old. They're deep. Their defense is pretty solid, but I don't know. Just like they don't like play super well. I'm not gonna pick against them. I can't do it. They're too impressive, man. And then we get a little throwback. No, we get another rematch from 2022. New York versus Carolina. Will Carolina get revenge this time? I remember there was a lot of receipts because everybody was picking against the Rangers and everybody was like blah 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 blah. Like I said, I don't think the Rangers are quite as good as maybe that P next to their name indicates. Shesterkin found his game a little bit. That'll help. That was a big catalyst in their little run to the Eastern Conference Final the year they did play Carolina. But like I said, I think Carolina's improved since then. They've got dudes that can get the job done, like Jake Gensel. Sebastian Aho has stepped up a little bit more, A lot of it is, as always, goaltending. Freddie Anderson played really well to end the season. I think the Hurricanes will give us another rematch of Eastern Conference Final. I could see the Rangers pulling it off. I kind of want to pick the Rangers, but I don't know. They scream that kind of like that. They just give me that vibe where it's just kind of like, I don't trust them. And then we got Colorado versus Edmonton. Edmonton and Colorado, another rematch. A good team, but kind of like I said with Winnipeg, like there's nothing about the Edmonton Oilers that should there's stuff, like obviously they have talent and everything. Like I'm not saying like it would be a cakewalk, but there's nothing about the Edmonton Oilers that like you pick that and you're like, well, this is what the Avs like. This is where this is going to target the Avs' weakness. Unless, goaltending, I guess, is a possibility, but you can put the other thing for the Avs. Like, there's no, like, big, like, one-up Edmonton really has on Colorado. You could maybe say, well, Connor McDavid's better than, Nathan McKinnon, but then that kind of evens out because, McKinnon's been really good this year. And Cale Makar, they don't have a Cale Makar. Evan Bouchard is good. He's not Cale Makar. They're both kind of the same team. They're both really good teams with high end power. They've got some solid depth. Avs have the leg up defensively in the D-core, and both of them have goaltenders where you're kind of like, they could be good, they could be trash. Who knows? Both of these teams could lose in the first round because of their goaltenders. Does Edmonton, do they get that revenge? Little added motivator? I don't know. I don't want to pick against the Avs, but I mean, Edmonton's been good. I don't know. Like I said, I have a hard time thinking that the Avs will, in the Western Conference bracket, I have a hard time thinking they will lose. I just like of all these teams, nothing compares to Winnipeg in terms of goal prevention, and that's what the Avs, are going to struggle with. Is like, I don't know. And then Florida, Carolina. I mean, Florida swept them in. Florida swept them in the Eastern Conference Final last year. Carolina might want revenge, but I just don't think it's it's gonna be kind of like you piss off a little kid and he's like, and he comes at you and you just shove him away. Like, I don't know. Like, Carolina's good, but they just Florida has the star power. Florida has the goaltending. Florida has the defense. Florida has the special teams. Florida has the everything. Carolina doesn't have the star power. Their offense isn't super good, and their goaltending is a bigger question mark than Florida's. I just don't think revenge is a big enough motivator to make up for that difference, and I think it's going to be Florida, and I think Avs versus Florida, guys, I think this is the exact same Cup final prediction I had a few years ago. Yeah, so that was not quite accurate. Definitely didn't pick Florida. I think I picked Florida that time, and I think I'm going to pick Florida again. I think Florida's so good. They're just so good. They have everything. They figured it out. They have the depth. They have the star power. They have the power play. Do I need to go through this again? Do I need to just paste this over on this side of the video of things Florida's good at? And it just says everything about hockey they're good at. They can play with speed. They can play. Oh my God! Florida is just so good. I kind of picked them as a joke. Or no, did I pick them? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. If there's anyone other than the Avs that I would want to win, it would be the Florida Panthers. They deserve it. Their fans deserve it. I hope. I don't want them to because I want the Avs to win. And they would deserve it, if they did, probably. Just kidding. If they beat the Avs, they're a bunch of cheating assholes and then go fuck themselves. But this is business. This is business. We're staying unbiased here. We're going to submit this bracket. And there you go. There you have it, everybody. That is my bracket with the Florida Panthers as your Stanley Cup champion. But who's ready for some playoffs? I'm excited for playoffs. Are you excited for the playoffs?
When the fuck did you get into my house?
He's so excited for the playoffs.
What the fuck?
You're not even in the shot.
You're not in the shot.
Yeah, I am. I'm right there. Now you're in the shot.
When the fuck did you get into my house?
Damn it!
Coyotes all the way.
Don't look at my bracket. Don't cheat. Don't. He's gonna cheat. Oh God! Don't. Nobody tell him.
Coyotes all.
Yeah.
It's just hard,
But they might be the Yetis.
They're in Utah.
Mormons? Yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you agree with my predictions. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, as always. And get ready for some playoff hockey, baby. Woo!